I wouldn't go back. For $100 an hour job, I wouldn't go back.
Interesting.
I would not go back at all. Getting up in the morning, doing what you have to do, and rushing to go and punch the clock to make somebody else rich. You get to decide what you're going to do, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it. And us, we work really hard. So it pays off because we're working for ourselves instead of giving all our energy and everything to somebody else to make them rich so they can live a good life. In the U.S., we're kind of groomed to be an employee, work for someone.
Like my friend said, he is in Ohio. He said, I have tried four times and I have to go back.
Really?
Yeah, 4 times. He said, man, I wish I can do it. Everybody wanted to come home. About 90%. Who wanted to get up in the morning and go and clock and, stress? Yeah, no. Yeah. Everybody wanted to come home, but they're scared that when they get home, the money will get finished and then they have to go back. When you are in overseas, you might think that people like you, family members love you. But when you come here and stay, their attitude is different. Yeah, I think Ghana is expensive. Ghana is not what you think. When you convert the money to dollars, you might think that it's not expensive, but the money runs like river. So when you come and think that Ghana is cheap and you are coming to spend your money, like United States, you can't last. You will go back. Now, I don't think about to become a millionaire. I just want to live my simple life. If I can buy something, whatever I want, I can buy it. I'm okay.
Americans are leaving America, and it is not for vacation. It's for survival. A growing wave of Americans are packing up, terrified by Trump's dictatorship, Republican fascism, and Democrats' capitulation.
Black Americans are leaving the United States. It's a trend called Blaxit.
I refuse to raise a child in this nation.
Racial couples, LGBT plus individuals, people of color, and intelligent people in general are seeing their rights replaced with restrictions. In Ireland, U.S. passport applications hit their highest level in a decade, up 60% in just 2 months. France is seeing long-term stay visas for Americans up 20%. Portugal, Spain, UK, relocation companies can barely keep up with demand. Traffic to Blaxit Global, which helps Black Americans relocate, surged 50% after the election. Some are leaving quietly, like a trans couple in Colorado, because Trump wrongly says there are only 2 genders. States are moving to ban gender care, so they're planning their exit. Google searches for how to leave the U.S. spiked after the election, and real estate deals for Americans in Spain surged before the Golden Visa program was shut down. European culture is different than American culture, and many won't adjust. And of course, Europe has its issues. Immigrations, taxes, Putin expected to take Moldova and then Romania with his eyes on the rest of Europe for the new Russian Empire. But a possibility of another European war is a safer bet than staying in a country that is already a fascist dictatorship.
Yeah, why today, while scrolling on TikTok, I saw a bunch of very happy Black people living abroad all around the world. I mean, they were happy, or they appeared to be happy. They were excited to be where they were, and they were giving their advice and experience on how people can move abroad. Some of the places I saw was Thailand, I saw China, I saw South Africa, and Bali. I'm trying to think. And I'm also looking into New Zealand. You know, New Zealand is a place that I can get an international license to practice as a registered nurse there if I really wanted to. So, I don't know why I was looking at my lip gloss is fading. So yeah, I'm just thinking, you know, and I also saw somebody mention Costa Rica, Portugal, and I think there was, oh, and also places like Georgia, but you know, that's close to the Russia border. I don't know if I would want to go there. Albania. You know, I've been looking also into, but I don't think I would want to live there. Croatia, places like that. So it is so much shit happening now here. It's just like, oh my God, every time I turn on the news, something is happening. You're hearing about unalivements and, you know, political views and, you know, people being placed in trees, if you know what I mean. So it's just too much. It's just too much. And the expat that I saw today, I'm just seeing butterflies and birds flying over. Distracted. The expats that I saw today, they were happy. One lady said, you know, I went to Thailand and got my healing. And, you know, it's like I would love to be in somebody's paradise, but, you know, those are things that I think about is a sustainability. I'm not rich, you know, but I would want my whole family to be with me wherever I go, you know. So I have to make sure that we have provisions. We all have provisions for that. Make it, you know, and just prepare. So I guess shit, if we really had to escape, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like I said, I'm not fearful, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen. What are they planning? You know, what are they planning? You know, being in Southern California, we're not that far away from the Mexico border. If we really needed to, I guess, get over there. And it's so funny. I thought about, they call the people that smuggle people in Mexico here to the United States, coyotes. I'm like, well, shit, are we gonna have to find some coyotes to smuggle us in Mexico? What if they, you know, say no, we're not gonna take you in? The Canadian border is more up north, you know, so it'd be more further. So I mean, if we had...
Hello everyone, once again welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Hilary, Kagira Uncovers, and well, in today's video it's all about what's happening in the United States. Now it has been reported that a lot of Americans are leaving America for countries and continents like Africa and the Caribbean. Now some of these countries in the Caribbean are Jamaica, Guyana. We have also Africa. Some are moving to Ghana. Now watch this video up to the end, and mind you me, this is majorly most of the MAGA supporters who are facing this, and now this has forced people to leave these countries for them, since they thought they have done the right decision. So guys, watch this video up to the end, and then remember, I'll be back with a few comments.
You know, it's like, okay, we got to get the hell up out of here. That would be too far. So anyway, it's just something that I saw, and in saying that, you know, I was like, okay, Holy Spirit, what you trying to say? Are you trying to tell me that it's go time, or what is it, you know? So like I said, it's just so much stuff. And I'm really trying to be at peace and be positive and happy and move within my purpose. But I feel like there is a climate that's happening, and people like me, you know, we're not wanted here anymore. Or people, I mean, I'm just feeling that. I'm sensing a lot of things. I'm, you know, hearing people in power kind of like have a disdain for us, and unfortunately, this is how God created us. Good, bad, or indifferent, we're here. And we deserve to be happy, just like everybody else, to live, to be at peace, and to have the pursuit of happiness in this country, and if we can't find it here, then somewhere else. Right, I hope you guys are being safe.
The fact that a young man was lynched in the U.S. just yesterday should be the reason why every black person wants to leave the U.S. for good. Like, I'm not talking about, oh, we're just going to vacation. No, like, pack up your shit, sell all your shit, gather some money, get some money straight so you could be good for 2 years before you get your business up and running, and move your asses on to Africa. I know it's not that easy, but this is why a lot of people are leaving. America will never change. It's the same story. We sing in the same song every year about racism, about killings, wrongful police brutality. Why aren't y'all seeing this? And why don't y'all want to leave? Y'all want to continue being hunged and nobody doing anything about it?
Hey, my TikTok babies. Real quick, I want to talk about, I just got finished watching Black Chef in Mexico's live. And she is very informative. And I love the fact that she's very enthusiastic about her move, her journey from Philly to Mexico, because what I get is it's done tons for her mental state, not just her financial state. That helps, but it's done tons for her mental state. So she's very excited about that. And I'm excited about that because that's what I'm looking for too. But in the comment section, it got kind of racy, to say the least. I mean, there were a lot of Mexicans or locals commenting because they were upset that she is there, or upset that a lot of us foreigners are coming to their coming there out of fear of gentrification and colonization. And I get it. Very understandable fear. Very valid. I'm not sweeping that under the rug whatsoever. But I just want to kind of say something on my behalf. I'm speaking on my behalf and on a lot of people that I know the reason why they've made such a move. So we are in fear also. I definitely am in fear also. And our fears are similar. Not in a gentrification aspect, but you guys are in fear that us coming over, is going to raise prices, and you guys are going to not be able to afford to live there anymore, or to sustain life anymore there. That's what we are in fear here. Okay, we are in fear that we can no longer sustain life in America. Yes, we cannot sustain life in America with the almighty dollar, right? It's a problem. Yes, the American dollar is superior to a peso. So you guys are like, well, you guys make American money, so you shouldn't be struggling. Not the case whatsoever, because a lot of us are. Okay, so we're fleeing. We are fleeing America out of fear that we will not be able to sustain life here anymore. So a lot of us are going to Mexico, Africa, Ghana, Jamaica, somewhere where, I'm not going to say where it's necessarily cheap, because I hate that word, but you have a better chance of sustaining life there. Okay, and no, I'm not saying go over there and build, quick trips and all this shit like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. If you are genuine about sustaining life, and that's why you're going to create a better life for yourself or yourself and your family, to get a financial health together, your mental health together, supporting the locals, supporting the mom and pop businesses, live there as if you actually care about the country, because you don't want it to end up like America, which is the reason why we left, then you're on to something. I can understand your move. Stay tuned for part 2, you guys. Let's talk about it.
Okay, let's talk about the money. This is the thing everyone wants to know. There's a lot to it. I'll try to go through it quickly. Your requirements are very specific and dependent on a lot of variables. So what someone else paid won't be what you pay. Let's try to walk through some of the high level areas so you can better understand. The most expensive months that you're going to encounter are the months that you leave and the month that you arrive. If those months overlap, just plan for 2 months. You won't see a lot of money leave in those 2 months. Just be prepared. Things will level off after that. Let's start with your airfare. Depends on your departure and your destination. Also factor in how many people are going. How long before you can purchase the tickets? Are you 3 months out, 6 months out, 2 weeks out. All of that makes a difference. I recommend trying to fly on a Monday through a Wednesday so you can get the cheapest tickets of the week. You need to do some research on where you plan to go and then estimate your cost based on that. You should be estimating hundreds to a couple thousand. Again, if you're going to Barbados, it's a lot different than going to Thailand. Immigration attorney, it depends on your destination country, your visa type, and the attorney that you use. I can't give you costs on that. You need to plan for it to be in the thousands. Speak with your specific immigration attorney for your desired country, and they will walk through the process based on what your needs are. You need to have money that you can show in a bank account or show that you can earn it with a history of earning that money. It varies based on country. Speak with an immigration attorney to find out what the requirements are for the visa that you're seeking. If you have a pension, that helps out a lot. So if you have a pension, you may want to choose a country where you get the most for that pension. I spoke about document preparation. Plan for anything from $300 to $1,000 if you're doing it yourself. If you're having someone else do it, it could be a lot more than that. Shipping and luggage. If you want to downsize so that everything fits in your luggage, you may only have to pay $100 or a couple hundred for another bag, depending on your airline. If you want to ship things up to and including your car, you could be up in the $8,000 to $12,000 range. You have to decide what's worth taking with you. It may be cheaper to sell it on your side and purchase it again on the other side than to pay for shipping. School. If you have children, you have to consider what the school requirements are. Do you want to put them in a local school, an international school, or homeschool? All of them have different advantages and disadvantages. What type of degree do you want them to get? What do you want them to do with that degree when they finish? School is a big cost if you have children, and then you have to multiply that by the number of children that you have. Housing costs. This one could be anything. You need to find an agent in your destination country and work through that agent to figure out what the housing costs are. Plan for your first month's rent and a deposit, which could be equal to that first month's rent. Or it could be more than that. It really depends on where you're going and how you want to live. So speak with an agent. Income. This is a big one. Everyone's asking about income, how you making money. For a lot of people, you don't need to make as much money as you did in the United States. There's only a handful of countries in the world where you need to do that. It's best that you bring your job or you create your job, but you need to have a plan for how you're going to make money. You need to be able to demonstrate that that plan works. I don't advise planning to go to another country and just find a job, because you could be taking a job from the citizens of that country. And that's a different issue that I've addressed in other videos. Bring your job or create your job, but don't limit yourself to the vocation that you've had. What skills do you have? What are you good at? What knowledge do you have? What thing that you always wanted to do that you can do? You may be able to use those things to make the money that you need to sustain yourself. Be creative, be prepared to be flexible, be open to the idea that you may not have to do what you were doing or make what you were making, and you can still be okay. Also factor in the cost of exiting your home country. This is important. You need to get out clean. I know people say, I'm gonna leave those bills in the place where I left. They could just find me. You're gonna have to get your passport renewed, and you don't know what type of barriers could be in place to prevent you from doing that. And you wanna avoid not being able to renew your passport at all costs. So get out clean. Get out so you don't have to worry about that on the back end after you've spent all of this money and moved your whole life somewhere else. Also, you have to figure out what you're doing with your mobile devices. There's a lot of options depending on where you're going. You have to figure out what's best for you. Now, these are some of the areas you need to consider, but it should give you a general idea of how to structure your plan. I have a link to a checklist in my bio that can help you with this. There's much more that I haven't covered here. If you want more information, more detailed information, there's also a link there for you to book a consultation. We can walk through that for your specific plan. Some people are asking people to say all their business on the internet. That's not safe, y'all. Look, and you shouldn't do that either when your time comes. We're open to being honest. We're open to helping you out. But no one's gonna put all their personal business on the internet, and neither should you. If you need to go over the details of your plan, if you need help crafting it or thinking through it or want to hear any of the other areas, the link is there for you to use. The checklist is there for you to use. The other content creators will provide a wealth of information. The information is there, but you got to get it. Sorry this was so long. This one's
things that I've noticed is how freaking clean it is. And it literally is like living in New York, but like the clean version of New York with more trees. It's just so pretty. Like, it's just city living, but you still have all the trees everywhere. And I'm like obsessed with trees. The complex grounds are phenomenal. Like, America could absolutely never. Like, I took a video yesterday of like the little play area that is downstairs in our building, but there are like sitting areas underneath every single like tall building. There are chairs to sit around everywhere here. The view outside my window is absolutely gorgeous. Like, I don't know if you can see that. Like, it's just so pretty. And then just like being here, it's just so peaceful and calm. As far as my mental health, it's so weird because when I was in the States, I took anxiety medicine and antidepressant medicine. And with all of the crazy travel and stuff, I like lost my medicine case and I just wasn't taking it. And I don't think I'm going to have to take it anymore. For right now, it seems like I might be able to pretty much wean myself off of all of the medicine, but it looks like I might not have to go back to taking any medicine. So leave some questions down in the chat, and then I'll make a note.
So I've been talking about how my husband and I are looking to live abroad. As a Black woman and a new mom, I do not feel safe here in America, and I don't want to raise my children here. So here are a few countries I've been looking into: Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama, Ecuador, and Portugal. There's also a large Black expat community in Ghana happening as well. If you are also Black here in America and looking to leave, check out these places. Check out some of the Black Facebook groups that are specifically aimed to help each other leave the United States.
Probably for like a year and a half now that I have no desire to stay in America. Getting what you can get out of this country until you are able to dip type of situation. For those that stay in another country, what are your suggestions? What do you recommend? Me and my husband, we really consider like, first would be Sydney, Australia. Second would be South Africa. Third would either be like a Caribbean island or like Central America, and probably UK, one of those. Because within the next 5 years, 4 years or so, we are really considering that at this point.
Hey guys, happy weekend to you guys.
Hey, happy Saturday. It's the weekend.
It's the weekend. Everything.
And we in Panama.
And we are in Panama. Everything's feeling like the weekend right now.
Every day is Saturday and Sunday.
Every day is Saturday and Sunday. We just thought we would jump on real quick to try to do a little bit of updating for you guys. What we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about moving and leaving everything behind.
So as you guys know, if you've been following us, we left the U.S.A. sight unseen, and it's going to be how long? Maybe
2 weeks on Monday.
2 weeks on Monday. So we are, kind of dug in a little bit now. We, some of the newness is gone.
Well, yeah, and we got our temporary residency too.
Oh, that's the big thing, guys. We got our temporary residency, and we're so happy. So we have about 3 months to wait until we can get our permanent residency cards, and then we'll be official.
Official Panamanians.
Yes, indeed. So we're super excited about that. We've been able to make that progress. Just wanted to jump on real quick and just talk about leaving and how we left everything behind. We sold house, cars,
lawn equipment, lawnmower,
anything
everything
that you can think of. 30 plus years of being together that you're going to accumulate. We sold it all. And 3 kids, and left our children there, everything.
Our kids are grown though. We didn't leave.
Well, if you listen to our kids, they use the word abandoned. That's a whole nother conversation we'll have another date about just how we're navigating being away from them. So yesterday we went to the grocery store for the first time, right? Mm-hmm. Yesterday we went to the grocery store because we've been eating out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for the last week and a half or so, and we're like, okay, it's enough. It's time to dig in, and
we went to the Super 99.
And what we realized, guys, is that we left everything at home. So like everything from
salt and pepper, seasonings,
any seasoning,
syrup, jelly.
Anything that you can put on, the things that you're normally used to having in your house, we don't have any of that. Any cleaning supplies, because in the Airbnb, they start you out with a little starter things, which is minimal.
It depends on which Airbnb.
That part too, so keep that in mind, yeah.
Because some don't supply anything.
Yeah, the last one we were in when we first got here, they supplied everything from detergent to toilet paper, everything. But this one, they gave us 1 or 2 rolls, and then they said you are on your own for the next 22 days. That's how long we're here for until we move into our permanent residence. So, so just wanted to jump on and say, we left everything behind. We left the U.S., but the rebuilding process has begun. So keep that in mind. If you plan to leave the U.S. and you're leaving all your stuff and you're not shipping anything, I still found it okay because we needed to downsize. It was just stuff. I heard somebody else talking about this that was leaving to leaving to go
move abroad.
Just it's
Selling
stuff.
stuff. He's selling stuff.
Giving
He's
away
giving
stuff,
giving stuff away.
and you just realize the value that it does not have. It just holds some memories that you had along the way, but it definitely doesn't have the value that you think you have. So now we're in the rebuilding phases. We're not going to accumulate too much while we're in this Airbnb, but we do have to live. So we did have to buy some things. What else did we get yesterday? So
We got
basic things like eggs,
some medicines.
medicine. I didn't bring all just like stuff in pain medicines, things as you get older you need for your knees and
Laxative.
Once again, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm your host, Hilary Kagira Uncovers, and well, as you've just watched in the video, I don't know if I should say it's sad or maybe black people and the white people who are sane enough, they have just had enough of what's happening in America. Now, this comes after we've seen cases of black people being jumped. We've seen issues whereby the ICE agents disrespectfully drugs people out of their homes. They tear families apart. They drag people out of their workstations. Mind you, these people, they have zero criminal records. Now, just as a country that was termed as a dream country for most of us, it has now turned out to be a nightmare. The dream has now turned to be a nightmare to many people living in the United States. Now, this is after a lot of people have been reportedly leaving America for countries or other continents like Africa and the Caribbean. As we all know, we've seen a lot of countries in the Caribbean living a dream life for a lot of people. And in this case, we'll talk about Jamaica. Look at the kind of life Jamaicans are living. And with those beautiful sceneries at the beaches. But sadly enough, there is a video I did whereby the government of Jamaica has been selling these beaches to foreigners, whereby these foreigners end up privatizing these beaches. And this makes, or rather comes as a disturbance to the locals of this country. We've seen the cases whereby Jamaicans don't enjoy, they are not allowed to visit their public beaches. This is because the government just betrayed them. Now, in this case, we've seen a lot of people are really eyeing a move to the Caribbean, mostly Jamaica, and others have even begun coming to Africa, in the countries like Kenya, Ghana, and others have also chose to go back to Mexico, a country that the United States termed as a country full of violence and drugs. But in this case, it's now a country that's mostly preferred by a lot of people. Now, we've seen how ICE agents have been dragging people out of their homes, out of their workstations, while these people have zero criminal records. I mean, what happened to humanity? And this is like a wake-up call to most of our leaders here in Africa, not just in Africa, but in other continents too, in other countries too, whereby the leaders of our countries are supposed to make our countries safer for us. We need to make sure that we are being appreciated in our own countries. And in this case, we've seen people switch their nationalities to represent other countries. Most of our countries are losing great talents to other countries because of lack of recognition from our own leaders. Now, people tend to go to to Europe, to America, and with the mentality of trying to change their lives, making everything better for them and the people they left back at home now. But now look at what happened in the US, in USA. Look at the MAGA. People are really suffering. People are really suffering. Not just the black people, but even the white people, whereby we've seen the farms that belongs to these white people. These farmers that are really going to our west, they have no skilled human labor to pluck their produces from these farms. And this, as we all know, that these works have been majorly made, or rather assigned to black people, to Africans, to people who are being called or rather termed as illegal immigrants, whereby we as black people, we embrace these jobs, we do them, we don't cause any harm. But when the ICE agents stepped in, look at what has been happening. And now those who voted for the current president, Everybody is facing this, and they are the ones who are quick to say that America is going from bad to worse. And in this case, we've seen even they are the ones selling off their stuffs and moving away from America. So how I'd wish that our leaders would make our countries safer for us. And I can't tell you, I can't force you to choose which country you'd love to go and settle in. It's your choice. But remember, Africa is a very blessed continent with a lot of stuffs. Trust me, you. So you can choose to invest in Africa, you can choose to invest in the Caribbean, or rather to maybe to any other countries of your choice. But remember, let's all support humanity, whatever is happening. And I'm glad to see black people really fully courageous and bold enough to say that America, we've had enough, and what we want now is just go back home. Remember, Africa is our motherland. And I'd love to urge you guys, so if you're coming across my videos for the first time, don't forget to like my videos, comment, subscribe to my channel, and of course share these videos with your loved ones. So guys, I've been your host, Larry Kagira Uncovers, and until we meet again in my next video, peace out and one love.